Hey guys, back looking at armor again this week with a special edition kit from Tamiya for their 50th anniversary. We're going to be looking at their Panther Ausf.D kit in 1/35th scale. So let's open her on up and take a look. So, to start with, the main additions to this kit versus the original boxing are these photo etch grill parts. I'm going to leave them in here because I don't want them getting loose, which comprises grills for all the various components. The individual link tracks, which we'll take a quick look at here. As I said, individual link tracks consisting of our main parts and the teeth. Overall, they do add a nice level of realism to the kit. Obviously, a metal track set would be better than this, but it is what it is. Move these aside. There are quite a bit of them. And the last addition to this kit versus the standard release is a metal barrel set, as well as the full build-up for the gun breech. Now, this is a nice inclusion in that it gives you a lot of detail for this area. However, ultimately, this will not be seen. Even with all the hatches open, you're not going to be able to see a lot of this detail short of removing the turret. As despite being quite nicely detailed, building up the full breech as well as the gunner's binoculars, you won't see this. I mean, should have taken the turret off and displaying it separately. There's not a lot that's going to be seen through the hatches. So that is something to be aware of. You will be basically paying for something that ultimately you're not going to be able to see. So it becomes questionable on detail level if you really want to take time to do it. Anyway, continuing on. Next up is our main turret hull piece. Amount of details already been molded on, so it does save you a little time there. But overall, most of it will need to be built up. What's nice on this guy is that it does include an opening for the engine, so that does give you some interesting diorama ideas and possibilities. Much the same, we've got our lower hull piece. The whole detailing that's molded on is acceptable, so it will build up fairly nicely. Of course, we also have our turret back piece. Like I said, even with all these hatches open, you're going to be hard pressed to see detail inside of there. Just something to be aware of. Overall, it's pretty standard fare for armor kit. Continuing on, we've got a couple figures that come with the kit, including commander in standing position inside the turret hatch, as well as a spotter standing off to the side. Almost looks like, to look at the instructions, as if he's basically leaning on the barrel and doing a little bit of scouting. Continuing on, we've got built up for the mantle, as well as the aft part for the turret, aft of the tank, and build up parts for the detailing there, as well as exhaust systems. A couple other odd and end parts as well, and of course our commander's cupola hatch. Next up, we've got all of our wheels and other suspension details. We'll just set the other one aside. We also got build up parts for the engine area, as well as tools and other accessories to detail the side of the tank with. These road wheels are quite hefty, in my opinion. They provide a nice, realistic sort of heft, as if they were actual cast iron. So that is a nice little bit of detailing, is in comparison to the Platts kit we've previously looked at, albeit that's a G versus a D here. Didn't have the same level of, I guess you could say, heft. With armor, it should always have that sort of, tank feel and look. And Tamiya does a better job capturing that detail on here than the Platts did. So something to consider. We also got some track parts for the side of the turret, much the same sort of build-up. And obviously also parts for the various cabling. Well, that's up as far as sprues go. We've got some more engine detail parts and a couple other odds and ends, suspension parts, some detail parts. Bottom of our turret, the kit supplied plastic gun, which obviously in comparison to the metal one is not as good. We've got parts for our muzzle brake, which is the one area on the gun you will have to clean up, and obviously our side skirts. Beyond that, it's also the kit also comes with various polycaps and cables, both of metal and looks like nylon. Give me a second to put this all back, and we will continue with the decals. Unfortunately, one thing I did notice as well with this kit is that there's no clear parts for any of the lenses or for any of the windows or any of that. So that is a bit of a disappointment. Let me go ahead and apologies for not opening this previously. Overall decal sheet is pretty straightforward. Got markings for a total of 3 different vehicles. For some reason they decided to break up some of the numbers in a weird way, but it is what it is. Also includes a couple nice little additional iconic markings for the turret. Now, I'm not going to go into all the smaller instruction sheets, such as for the tracks and the gun set, as they're pretty straightforward on their end. Nothing I really need to add there. But overall, build up on this guy is a little complicated with the road wheels and suspension, but once you get out of there, it does become a little more straightforward. In fact, I would say once you get through the lower hull, there's no real surprises after that. It comes very straightforward, just your traditional armor buildup. Obviously, once you do add in the various photo etch, or not photo etch, accessory components, then it does get a little more complicated. As I mentioned before, it has 3 different marking options, all in the sort of late war type camouflage schemes. One thing I will know, I do like that Tamiya included a full color instruction sheet for the paint and markings, as well as some reference photos. That's a nice inclusion. I was not expecting that when I picked the kit up. So, overall, the kit has some nice inclusions. Obviously, having the better track option is a plus. The metal barrel is a definite plus. And having the photo etch does add a little more to the kit. Overall, though, it's debatable if I would say if it's worth the additional cost. Pick this up for about $50. Usual kit, it runs about $30. I would say, you can probably price out the additional components and get them on sale probably for less. So it is something to be aware of. Do overall still recommend it. It's a good kit. Will build up quite nicely. Has a lot of interesting additions to it. Beyond that, now it's a pretty straightforward Tamiya kit. It's almost at the point where you can just shake the box and the model will fall out. So that was a look at Tamiya's 1/35th scale Panther Ausf.D special edition for their 50th anniversary. Until next time.